Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you all my tools and equipment that I'm using to build lithium batteries and to perform multiple tests, including capacity tests for batteries, tests for active balancer, BMS, and etc. This video is going to be divided to two parts. First part is going to be equipment overview, and the second part I'm going to show you how to build tracker, Arduino-based tracker that can measure amps and voltage in cell and store this information, and later we can build graphs using this information. Now let's jump to the first part and do equipment overview. So right here on the middle of the table, two power supplies. One is a 30 volts 5 amps and second is a 60 volts 5 amps. I'm using this one to charge higher voltage batteries and this one for individual cells. It's much easier to set voltage, for example 365 for lithium cells, for lithium iron phosphate cells on this one, when it's a little bit tricky to set a precise voltage on that one. So then right here I have capacity meter. This is a 30 amps 180 watts capacity meter, so it's able to draw nice amperage from a smaller cells, but it takes a lot of time to test bigger capacity batteries because it's just 180 watts. For bigger batteries I'm using this capacity meter where you just pass negative wire through this Hall sensor and it's gonna track amp hours for this battery. I use this to test my 23.5 kilowatt hours battery bank. So then right here is a battery voltage monitor where you can see voltage for every individual cell and voltage difference. This is great one to quickly see what is the voltage on your pack, on your cells, and it supports up to 8 cells. Right here is a two ammeters. One can go to negative side and positive side. This is just positive side. I'm using this one for visual representation, how like amps flowing in a system or how amps going into cell or out of the cell. So just using this for videos to explain all of this information. So then right here is a multiple resistance. I'm using this to precharge inverters or to apply resistance to the cell to draw some energy from this one. Then right here is a soldering irons. I started with that one 20 watts, then I've got this 30 watts, and then I've got this small one to solder wires to or small PCB components, and this one to solder huge wires to BMS or different kind of equipment. So then right here I have this digital caliper. I use this few times to build bus bars to measure distance between studs and just mark where holes location should be. Very useful tool to build bus bars. So then right here I have a multimeter. Works great so far. It shows very accurate voltage. It's inexpensive one but works great. Also it can measure using this clamp meter. It can measure AC and DC amperage. Then right here, this battery analyzer, I haven't used this yet, but this tool can measure cell resistance. So my idea is if I'm going to parallel cells, multiple cells, maybe I can measure resistance and try to match cells together. We'll see how this works. So then right here, this is set for crimping wires. I've got this set from AliExpress a long time back. It's also inexpensive one, and I'm mostly using this crimper. So this crimper is I'm using to crimp this kind of terminals, and almost never used that one. To strip wires I'm using this stripper. Works great, and I've got this from Home Depot and it's like really inexpensive. Then for bigger terminal ends, for example for this one, I'm using this crimper and it works great so far. So then for wires when it needs to be bolted, I've got this one recently, and with that one I can crimp wires like that. And to crimp big terminals for 2 gauge wires or smaller gauge wires, I'm using this crimper. It works great so far, costs about $20, and I crimped maybe 100 different types of connection with this one and works great so far. So here's an example how this works. Okay, so right here I have multiple wires. I spent one entire evening to build these wires, and it's very useful when you do like some tests or you need to apply like resistance to cell, just all of these like kind of wires. So here's with two crocodiles, then these two wires where you can apply to the battery and bolt these terminals to somewhere, or if you need like maybe that one. So all kind of wires that I'm using for my tests. So then right here is connectors. I have this GST 2mm and 254mm connectors. Then this type of connectors, male, female. Then I have these WAGA connectors to quickly connect wires if needed. Then multiple terminals right here, and of course heat shrink. So then all of these connectors pretty useful to have when you do multiple tests and you need quickly crimp some wires. So all different kind of connectors here, and I think that's all. That's quick equipment overview that I have for tests. I will try to put links for this equipment. And the second part is Arduino. So in one of my videos you saw graphs for cells charge and discharge, and I built this tracker using this Arduino. It's pretty inexpensive tracker, because if you buy ready-to-go solution it could cost like 1,000. So all of this equipment cost maybe like $50 or $60. And now let's jump to the second part of this video, where using these three components I'm going to build this tracker.